RB3's captain chair. That chair is reserved for Instagram models only, so we have representing RB3. JTE, look at that blue steel face. So
he's thumbnailing in front of us. It's great.
JT, if I can give you one thumbnail before we get the things going, I'm going to give you one thumbnail to describe your overall anticipation of the entire summer movie season. What does that look like?
Nice.
Good.
Praying to the gods
I want it to be
themselves.
good because last year was pretty lame.
The classic JTE prayer. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's where we start. Is that last summer we had a lot of big blockbusters, as we always do. We had a couple comedies that were all right, but overall, I think the feeling was the blockbusters didn't deliver like we wanted them to.
Yes.
We got a bunch of great Oscar movies, so that felt like 2016 made up for in that regard. But look, we want to go to the movies this summer. We want to throw a lot of popcorn and soda in our face and enjoy some of these things. And we get to kick it off May 5th with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which me and a couple other people here at this desk have had the pleasure of witnessing already. Joelle, why are people looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Volume 2?
Volume 1 gave us one of the best soundtracks in modern, like, summer blockbuster history, and also it unveiled the gorgeousness that is Chris Pratt in his muscular form. So, you know, Volume 2 can only get better.
Ken Knapsack, you have not seen Volume 2 yet. Do you get into these outer space fantasy adventures at all?
You know what? I loved Guardians. I really did. The soundtrack was great. I mean, a lot of the music was, you know, stuff that I grew up with and was glad to see up on the big screen again. And I think Pratt, I mean, I get it. I get it, Joelle.
Yes.
On all sorts of levels. Want to share this one? But...
Yeah?
Yeah, no, little birthday.
Yeah, so I get it. Dude, this was great.
Yeah.
This was a great movie, the first one, and I'm highly anticipating the second one.
Perry, fans get excited about these standalone Marvel movies, but they also want them to tie into the greater universe at large in fun, inventive ways. We're not allowed to review Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 yet, but is that something that people are looking forward to?
You're setting me up to fail right now.
Yeah, that's what I do on this show.
I feel awkward talking about this movie when I've seen it, and I'm not supposed to review it yet. But, I mean, we put our tweets out, our very, very basic little thought walking out of the movie, and what I said, which you can find on Twitter, is I didn't love it as much as the first one, but it's still great. That doesn't mean that it's a terrible movie because it's not as good as the first one, because the first one, a lot of you know, that is my favorite comic book movie.
Right.
And I'm not saying that because I can already see all the comments where like, what about The Dark Knight? The Dark Knight's great too. It's just if I'm sitting on my couch and I feel like putting on a superhero movie, I'm probably right now at this stage of my life going to put on Guardians. And as a huge fan of Guardians, I think 2 lives up to the expectations to a point.
Now, JT, you texted me as soon as I got out of Guardians Volume 2. I had a text from you, and you wanted to know how the movie was, but you were asking more for your girlfriend than for you. Are you not excited about Volume 2?
I'm excited because it's Marvel, and I did really enjoy the first film, but I was kind of like in the same boat with Christian Harloff. Everyone loved that movie. We both just really liked it. I was excited for this one because, for me, sequels to comic book movies are usually better. Winter Soldier, Dark Knight, X-Men 2, Spider-Man 2. You got the introductions out of the way. Let's go into that comic book world a little bit deeper, a little bit more action, bigger budget. But from what I'm hearing, you guys aren't loving it as much as the first one, so I'm a little worried.
Okay, Striffler, when JT took us down, you're going to get us right back up.
No.
Oh, no!
No, I'm looking forward to it. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a big surprise because I didn't know anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and yeah, so it's exciting to go into one of these where I don't really know what could possibly happen. I don't know the storylines, you know, from the comics. So I'm very curious. I'm very excited still.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. Oh, hell yeah. This is one of my most anticipated Baby Groot, man. Baby Groot. Very excited.
Is that your favorite Guardian?
No, I mean, I'm just, the marketing campaign has, like, I was at Hall H for the presentation, and Baby Groot stole the show, and it was the first time I've seen him, so of course I love him, but I mean, I'm a Rocket and a Drax and a Star-Lord fan big time. Yondu, I can't wait. I adored the first Guardians, and this looks like just more of the same. Perry, what you're saying, more of the same, but not as good? Fine, I'll take it. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, and as we get through this Guardians Volume 2, I think that what people can be looking forward to is that it's our core group of the 5 Guardians, and we love watching them, or I guess 4.5 as of right now with the little tiny one. But it's cool to see them interact in new, different ways with characters that we know from the universe and how they splinter off and have little adventures. It's going to add up to a lot of other things. So plenty to look forward to in Guardians Volume 2. Our review of that is going to come out next week. I think it's going to come out Sunday morning, I believe. Sunday or Monday
I
morning?
think the embargo lifts
Yeah.
Monday at 12:01.
It's gonna be
a.m.,
around
so,
midnight at some point,
When
so-
you wake up Monday morning, the review will be there.
Our overseas friends, get ready because you're going to wake up, you're going to have a cup of Joe or whatever they drink, and you guys are going to have a Guardians Volume 2 review. That's pretty much it on May 5th. I mean, May 5th, it's pretty much getting out of the way of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We move on to May 12th, where we have another big blockbuster-style movie directed by Guy Ritchie, King Arthur, The Legend of the Sword. Ken Knapsack, you're a fan of Guy Ritchie's movies. His dialogue, is that going to work with this huge legend? Excuse me.
Cal.
Cal's face.
Flop and shop.
Cal's face.
I'll tell you what.
Ken's face. Same Cal.
It's all the same.
Burger Wars is less than an hour away.
Yeah, which I can't wait for. I've been practicing for that. I am very much looking forward to this movie because I'm a King Arthur fan, first and foremost. I actually love The First Knight, believe it or not. Sean Connery, Richard Gere,
Oh,
Julie
yeah.
Ormond.
There you go.
I actually like it. We'll see what Guy Ritchie can do with it. I'm a fan of a lot of Guy Ritchie's work. And I think he brings a different style. Whether or not it can translate to a medieval movie that's kind of a pop song look at King Arthur, we'll see. But I'm definitely I'm gonna be there.
We
I'm
got
gonna see
some counter programming that weekend because you also have Snatched coming out, which is Amy Schumer's new movie. It's her and Goldie Hawn, and it's a lot like Forgetting Sarah Marshall, where Amy Schumer she got dumped right before her and her boyfriend were supposed to go on this fun exotic vacation. So instead of her boyfriend, she takes her mom. They have some sort of reconnecting adventure. So Joelle, I give you those two movies. Which one are you going to see?
Ugh.
Or you're allowed to stay home.
I mean, I would probably take King Arthur, even though I've hated the last 3 King Arthur movies that have come out. They're not very good. Robin Hood, all of these medieval movies they're trying to do and make them action movies is weird. Doesn't quite translate. But it's Guy Ritchie, and as Ken says, he does have a very unique style. So I'm kind of interested to see whip cuts with horses. I think that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I liked the effort of A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger, and it looks like it maybe is a little bit more in that vein.
Yeah.
But obviously tackling the subject matter of King Arthur, it hasn't been done perfectly since Monty Python and the Holy Grail period.
Yeah, I don't know about King Arthur. Between the two that you just named, I would pick King Arthur just because of Guy Ritchie. But looking at that promo campaign, have you seen a single thing that made you think, oh, I'm really looking forward to that? That's going to be a great movie. I mean, that looks like every other period piece, swords and sandals type movie we've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah, now, men and dogs over at the couch. I mean, you guys see the Guy Ritchie. It doesn't look like anything I need to rush out to see in the theater, but it looks like something that would be a fun cable watch if I'm just chilling in a hotel somewhere. Okay, thank you. Solid contribution. Nobody's a fan of this release date at all. It looks like everybody's going to see Guardians Volume 2 for the second time.
Again, yeah, 2 times, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about this King Arthur thing, and it's just I don't like my fantasy movies with a modern update.
Also,
know,
I keep
with,
seeing stuff
music.
for it everywhere, and I'm just it
not
just seems
doing
one
it
of those
for me.
things that maybe was approved a while ago, and now people are they thought people might be into it, but
Yeah.
JT, you're the one that can pull this sword out of the stone. What say you, Guy Ritchie?
I'm curious to see Snatch because the movie takes place in my homeland of Ecuador. It actually
really?
takes place in Ecuador.
Oh, good
So
man.
I'm curious to watch it and see if I recognize any of the
You
areas.
pop up in the background.
It's not a great message for Ecuador about being snatched, so that's interesting. King Arthur, I'm not a huge Guy Ritchie fan. The only thing I'm thinking is this guy just got Aladdin. So, I feel like Disney had to see a cut of this film to give him that job, and maybe they were impressed. Maybe they were like, oh, crap, this guy's know what he's doing. That's the only hope I have for it.
That's a good point.
Does Charlie Hunnam take off his shirt? I haven't seen the trailer yet.
Yeah,
He
I
has
think
to
he
take
does.
off his
I
Well,
think he
then
does.
that's the ticket you buy. I feel like we just cancel all conversation.
You're going to get a lot of man candy in May, Joel. You get Chris Pratt. You get, who I'm not sure if he takes his shirt off in Guardians Volume 2. I can't remember. But you also get certainly Charlie Hunnam there, too. Another movie coming out in May, a small movie called Low Riders. Ava Longoria's in that. Damien Bashir is in that. It's kind of a cool exploration of the lifestyle of East LA when it translates into Low Riders and there's a contest that's going on. So it's got kind of a fun element to it there. But then we get to Alien Covenant, which is May 19th. And that is something that
baby.
I was excited because I always root for Alien, okay? I'm rooting for aliens to fight predators in Requiem. I didn't actually see the movie, but I'm rooting for alien movies to be great. And when we had all this dialogue between, Ridley Scott wants to make all these other alien movies, but wait, Neil Blomkamp was committed and he had this cool storyline with Sigourney Weaver. Which way is this going to go? How many Ridley Scott Prometheus movies do we have to make? Because after he made Prometheus, he said he had a sequel in mind where you're not going to see a xenomorph. These trailers seem to indicate there's going to be a whole lot of xenomorphs, and it gets me all tingly and excited. Mark Riley, I know you love the Alien franchise like I do. Is Covenant going to bring it back to prominence?
It sure looks that way. I mean, and everything we've heard, Ridley Scott is saying, you know what, I'm going back to the horror. Here that you see the xenomorphs. You're also seeing a new kind of xenomorph. I don't know exactly. I can't remember what it's called. But I like the concept. I like that they're going out there to colonize a planet. So we have reminiscence of aliens. We have the horror of Alien. So come on. I'm signing up.
Striff, were you pumped too?
Yeah, I really enjoyed Prometheus. So
Me too, man.
I've never seen the Alien.
I
These
love
Alien movies I've never seen, but I saw Prometheus, and so
You didn't see Alien?
No, I'm messing with you.
Jesus Christ. Cal, get him.
I mean, it's not like one of my favorite franchises ever, or anything like that. But yeah, sick 'em.
Cal's like, huh?
Cal is going to wake up when we start talking about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I am excited, though. I am excited.
You get Alien Covenant that weekend. The other movies coming out that week on May 19th, if you're keeping score, is another Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Everything, which we're going to get to in a minute because that's a smaller movie that I'm actually excited about. Alien Covenant for you, JT.
Yeah, Prometheus kind of asked more questions than it answered. So I'm really going to this movie hoping to get some answers. It looks beautiful. One thing with Ridley Scott, no matter if the movie's good or bad, even Robin Hood, which was a good movie, it's beautiful to watch. The guy knows how to film, just compose shots. So I am on board. It's worth the ticket of admission.
Okay, Joelle, you're shaking.
He said Robin Hood was a good movie, and I was like, GTE, why?
What, you liked
You
Robin
heard
Hood
me.
with
no,
Russell Crowe?
terrible.
No, it was terrible.
I liked
but it.
it.
Looked amazing.
It did look okay. The fight scenes looked pretty good.
That's
I
what I'm
will
saying.
warn
He
you.
knows
Okay,
how to
okay.
film a movie.
I liked it.
Joelle, were you big on Prometheus?
You know, I actually did like Prometheus. I was surprised when it came out with loads of hate, and I actually just rewatched Aliens, the director's cut, when I went back home to visit my pops.
Yeah.
So I could not be more excited for this movie. There is probably, like, other than, like, the Star Wars, like, I don't know if there's a better franchise series than Aliens, because even in its lowest forms, like AVP, it's still so good. And so I'm really excited to see what Ridley does with
I
this.
will still put on the beginning of Alien vs. Predator, Ken, and get pumped up when I see them in Antarctica and I see Lance Henriksen ready to go.
Hell yeah.
I usually sleep by the end of the movie, but
Right.
do you care about these scary aliens with mouths coming out of mouths?
I'm not a huge fan of the Aliens franchise. Never have been. Never took to it. So it's I get scared easily. These are scary pictures. So I've kind of backed away from all the scary pictures and Aliens and Alien and I actually saw Prometheus and I actually liked it.
Okay, then let me throw some counter programming at you because also that weekend,
I'll go see Alien.
everything comes out. I'm gonna pitch this movie to you, okay? I think you're gonna hate the idea, but I'm gonna pitch it to you.
I'm
okay?
curious about this.
We have a young director who's got a lot of ability. Stella McGee is directing this movie called Everything. It's got the young lady who played Rue in
Yeah.
the Hunger
Oh,
Games
yeah.
movie. Rue, I'm gonna call the character Rue. She can't leave her hermetically sealed environment due to an illness, but she still falls in love with a boy.
It's a Bubble Boy remake.
It sounds kind of like Bubble Boy with the romance with the YA angle. Copster, this got you titillated.
Yes, it did. I loved her in the Hunger Games in her very small role, but it sounds just like Bubble Boy. Is Jake Gyllenhaal going to make a cameo?
I don't know, and you started to go into your Mark Wahlberg impression, so I feel like
Sorry about that.
you're not seeing that over Alien Covenant.
No, I'm seeing Alien Covenant. What are you
Okay.
doing, Xenomorph? Get out of my face. Continue.
That's an expert Mark Wahlberg. Ross
you.
Marquand would be proud of you.
What?
No, I was looking at Ken to make his decision with
You
everything.
could drive a
everything.
truck through that pause.
I was gonna say,
My God.
that wasn't to me.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know what was going on there for a second. You know,
Sorry
it
about
sounds
that,
like a great movie.
Yeah.
I love Rue. I love that performance in Hunger Games. It sounds like that episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza plays Trivial Pursuit with the kid. Moops.
Morse. Oops.
So I don't know.
So much source material you can get out of people being trapped in little hermetically sealed
Yeah.
environments. But Perry, I know you're going to see Alien Covenant.
I am, but I actually might see Everything because she didn't have that small of a role in Hunger Games. It was a very important role, and she played that role very, very well. And I actually saw a trailer of this recently because I saw that. What's that other movie that just came out with the little girl and she's super smart? Clearly, the movie didn't make much of an
Gifted.
impression.
Gifted.
Yeah. So obviously, they had to play all these cutesy trailers before, and this was one of them. And even though it felt, a little cheesy, it kind of looked pretty good. But no, it's all about Alien Covenant, and you probably shouldn't see it because one of the reasons that I'm so damn excited about Alien Covenant is because, and I liked Prometheus, but unlike Prometheus, this looks like a horror movie.
Hell yeah.
This
Yeah.
reminds me of Alien, and Alien is my favorite movie in that entire franchise.
It looks like a horror movie, but you also get some cool action with the alien at the end of the trailer, and he starts bashing his huge alien head against the windshield. man, get off that planet. And for God's sake, scientists, stop having sex in outer space. I don't know how many times I have to tell you idiots this. Do not copulate when you're out. Wait until you get back home, toast a Capri Sun, and celebrate when you're back here on Earth. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, also comes out that weekend. No?
Shout out.
No takers?
Shout out to the girl that plays Drew. Her name is Amanda Steinberg. And I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When somebody pitched this movie to me, they didn't pitch it to me. I'm not a studio executive, but somebody was telling me about it, and I was like, no, hard pass. But then I saw the trailer, and I was like, oh, there's like some deep stuff happening here. I don't know why they decided to release it the same weekend as Aliens. It's a little confusing to me, but I hope people go see it. Maybe that'll be my Sunday movie. Go see Alien Saturday. I want to give it love. It looks good. It looks interesting.
I think
what's more
it's great
confusing,
counter programming for that.
It's good counter programming, but I'm looking at it right now. Both Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Alien are both Fox movies, and even though those don't have crossover audiences at all, that's strange that one studio has two wide releases.
Yeah, just get that out there in May. The next
gonna be
2
working
weeks
hard.
in May, you're going to have 2 movies that take place on the high seas, and I say that kind of. I mean, you get Pirates of the Caribbean to the end of but the week before you get Baywatch coming out, which, look, the trailers, clearly they're showing us that with a huge wink and a giant nod, they're going to be lampooning the Baywatch TV show, but also they're going to take themselves somewhat seriously, maybe in a 21, 22 Jump Street vibe. Ken, does this do anything for you?
It does, actually. You have The Rock, who I believe is one of the most charismatic creatures in all of mankind's history. I'm going to give it a chance just on that. I'll say what you want about my Arroyo Grande High School alumni, Zach Efron.
Oh my
we went to the
goodness.
same school together.
What?
At
That's
the same
awesome.
time?
No, he's 5 years younger. 5 years younger than me. But I knew, but I knew his first acting manager. What's
I'm with you, Ken. I have no idea why that's funny.
Ken has hopped up on Kiwi Strawberry. Now he's just throwing Capri Suns.
Anyways, he's funny. He's got comedic chops, and I think Neighbors proved that. And there's a winning formula in here: rock, comedy, bikinis and swimsuits and sand. Gets everywhere, and I can see this. I can see this being a sneaky hit.
I get it, but Riley, this is one of those movies that I go into, and I want to wait for the reviews. I want to hear if it's okay or not, if they hit that really tough comedic tone where it's funny, but it's a spoof movie, but it's not a straight spoof movie. I would actually, and I'm surprised I'm saying this, save my money from Baywatch to go see Dead Men Tell No Tales the next weekend, because that Pirates trailer, I cannot wait to see Javier Bardem as Salazar, the ghost pirate. That's what gets me excited, not Baywatch, which is weird for me as an adult male to say, that because the show Baywatch, man, did that get me through puberty. Riley, which movie?
Yeah, well, I'm with you. If Baywatch, if I start hearing reviews that are like 21 Jump Street, and I'm like, okay. But Pirates, I heard good things coming out of CinemaCon. They showed a screening of that movie, and they said, whoa, that's pretty good. And there's a guilty movie pleasure in the Pirates that I like. I didn't like any of them since the first one. Didn't like them. I was just like, yeah. But this one looks great because of Javier Bardem. I like what that is. And I mean, come on, zombie sharks.
We are going to have
sharks.
Zombie sharks. Eric
Big
Striffler,
time.
you're too young. You probably missed the boat on the Baywatch TV show. You were a
missed the boat. I
zygote
like that, though.
when the first. I actually, yeah, I didn't even know I was doing that. Do you get more excited to see a Baywatch flick or Dead Men Tell No Tales?
I've seen Baywatch, and I'm looking forward to seeing Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, you see Baywatch.
Insider
Yeah,
information.
I don't. I'm not. I've seen it.
Okay.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
Okay, JT, do you want last or do you want Ghost Sharks?
I gotta go Ghost Sharks. I mean, but I do want to see Baywatch. I agree with Riley. If it has good reviews, I'm gonna be there opening weekend. I hated Pirates 4. Like this is
Yeah,
this
it
is
was
like
pretty bad.
Rightfully so.
this is the last chance Pirates has for me. If this is bad, it's in the Transformer category. Where I'm just staying away.
Damn.
I need it to be good, and I want it to be good because I love the first one. I even like 2 and 3 to a certain extent, but I want this one to be so good. But who knows?
Bold words from JT. Joel, is there any hope for Pirates to turn the ship around? No, it's too far. Commit, damn it, commit. Too far. And I'm sorry.
Stick to it.
Cops
Man
are sweating.
overboard.
I'll back it up.
I loved Pirates of the Caribbean, the original trilogy. I have to agree fully with JTE that 4 was just trash. It was awful.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're getting back into the lore and the stuff that made 1 so good. But The Rock can only elevate a franchise. Like whenever he comes in, like it's never weak. And so I just feel like I got to support The Rock and his legacy of great cinema.
This this other movie coming out, there might be a sneaky one that comes in right there at the end of May called The Berlin Syndrome, and it's like this photographer, and he goes on this date with this younger girl, and he ends up kidnapping her, and it's a horror movie. It's not a it's not a laugh riot.
It's like a
but
rom-com.
It's just like something that you should check out if you're into horror. Have you seen a trailer for this, Barry?
I have no clue what that is.
Copster, you got freaked out by this thing, right, when you read the premise?
No.
Okay, then we'll move on.
Bang up
Two.
segment there.
We're gonna go around
Anybody.
us here at the just us
boy.
here at the main desk. I guess I'll lend it to you guys too. Okay, Riley, you get everything coming out in May. What's making the most money opening weekend domestic?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, easy.
All right, Eric Striffler.
Second it.
JT.
I third that. Guardians.
Now it's getting confusing.
Is anybody gonna take
Fourth.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Pirates is making its money overseas, not here.
Oh, overseas, more puns.
I'm so slow.
Well
I
done.
didn't even realize what I
This
said.
show is funny.
I am also gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.